Hi, good evening, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. So in this video, we're going to go over the dividend estimates for Group A of YieldMax funds plus the YMAX and YMAG fund. First, let me announce in Discord that I'm going live. All right, let's do this. There we go. Okay, so let's first, as a reminder, let's go over the actual dividend ETFs for YieldMax that are going to be getting a dividend this week. Keep in mind, this week contains both Christmas Eve and Christmas Day in the US, both major holidays. So, and we're almost there. I mean, we're only like really 3 days away. So, uh, we're going to be delayed until the 26th, which is the day after Christmas, as far as the declaration date. So, we have an extra day to go as far as getting our dividends. So, who knows? Maybe that will help, but we'll see. Okay, so let's go over again as a reminder which ETFs are in Group A. We have Tesla, Crash, GUI, YBIT, OARK, XOMO, SNOY, TSMY, FEET, and 5E. Those are the two new ones. So keep that in mind. We have now about 10 funds added to Group A. Of course, this is my favorite group as well because I happen to be holding a lot of Tesla. We'll also go over my dividend portfolio while we're at it. Hold on just a second here. I'm going to pull up my dividend portfolio. Okay. So, hope everybody had a better week than I did. This week was a little rough for me. Greetings, Richard King. And the markets are open when? Well, they open 9:30 tomorrow. That's actually a good point, Hoffman. Let's go over that for the audience. U.S. market hours this week. So I know we'll be closed for Christmas Day. And then I believe on Christmas Eve, I believe we might have a short day. Yeah, we close at 1 p.m. On Christmas Eve. So that's a very good point. I forgot about that actually. So we should have a normal trading day Monday. Christmas Eve, we should be closed at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. Christmas Day, we're going to be closed all day. Um, which me personally, I'm such a trader. I'd rather be trading on Christmas Day at some stretch of the day instead of sometimes, being stuck uh, eating or socializing or so on and so forth. Um, but that's just me. Me personally, I wish the market was open more often than not. Okay, so now let's do this. We're going to go over the ones that we're getting this week, and I'm going to come up with my estimates for these funds. For most of them, we were fairly accurate last week. Um, so for Tesla's the most important one, right? Right, Hoffman. So Tesla, our last dividend was $1.22. If we look at the month that Tesla has had, let's look at that real quick. So if we look at the past month, so since December 2nd, let's see, we were up 34% this month, but we pulled back last week. So hopefully they were able to capture some of that downside too. Nonetheless, we've still had a phenomenal month. We're still up 18% in Tesla. So I'm expecting a solid dividend for Tesla as well. However, in November, we were up like 39% in Tesla. So Tesla has hit all-time highs. Kind of wish I did some call options on those too, as far as buying calls, which I know Professor Hoffman says not to do. But I've actually made some big gains on buying call options. Okay, so for Tesla, I am going to predict. Let's look at how well that one has done over the past month. So let's see here. Tesla was up 21.57%, but now it's only up 7.78%. So I'm predicting we should have a decent month. Maybe not as good as it was in November, because of course it started soaring after the election. It was up 21%. So I'm gonna say, let's see, we were at $1.22 last month. I'm gonna say we'll be at like $1.25 this month. And that's my prediction for Tesla. Let's go back to comments here. Futures market, I think that's outside of the scope of this video. That's for a pros pro like you. Maybe you want to tell us, because I don't know a whole lot about futures. Um, I do want to learn one day. I know I've been saying that for over a year. Oh, Merry Christmas from William Malakuski. He's always calling us night owls. That tends to be when I do most of my videos. Okay, so the next one on the list here is Crash. So Crash is the inverse Tesla fund, right? So CRSH. That is down to 645. So Crash is crashing because it's an inverse fund. So let's see. What we had last month for Crash is, let's see, 37 cents. I'm going to predict like 30 cents this month for Crash. I think it's going to be lower. The next one on our list, GUI. So for GUI, I'm going to predict it was 28 cents last month. Let's see how Google's been doing over the last month. Google. Let's see here. We could always Google how Google stock is doing, right? But I'd rather just use the iPhone. Okay, so for the last month since December 2nd, we are up 14%. We dropped a little bit, so we're up 11.55%. So for GUI, I am going to predict 25 cents. For the next one, YBit. Let's see where we were at last month. YBit. Bitcoin's been doing really well, but it looked like it took a little bit of a crash last week. We had $1.26. I'm going to predict this one I'm not sure about, but being unsure is okay because fortunately in my case, or in our case, because we are a community, a very tightly knit community, right, Hoffman? Thankfully, for the sake of our community, I happen to be in possession of advanced financial forecasting equipment, such as the 8 ball, which can further calibrate my uncertainties and refine my decision making. So as far as the prediction I'm making here for this one, $1.20, it says you may rely on it. So it seems pretty certain. And I just did it again. It says signs point to yes. Now it seems like this 8 ball, as accurate as it is, it's only good for about like 20 shakes. After that, it starts getting woozy. So I got to keep in mind it's getting old. I should have used all my Tesla dividends to buy a new one. Oh wow, we got a Merry Christmas from Hoffman. You can't multitask? The great Hoffman can't multitask? I don't believe it. I just don't believe it for 1 second. When is the X date for BIGY? Making monster investment in BIGY. I bought some BIGY also. I'm a big fan. 12% real growth. Absolutely. I'm on board with you there, Rob Smith. Um, so that happens to be on a different dividend schedule. I'm glad you brought that one up. We can go real quick and look at that one. That is what's called like the Big 12, not to be mistaken with the college football conference, of course, for those college football fans out there. Um, it happens to be the big, like it's called Big 12, more or less. So let me go back to the YieldMax site here if I can get this right. This is going to be up here. The big Target 12, I'm sorry, Target 12. So that's going to start January 7th is going to be the declaration date, and then payment date's going to be January 9th. So there we go. That's to answer your question. Now let's get back to regularly scheduled programming, or non-scheduled, because this was actually non-scheduled. It was more spontaneous. Although you'll notice Hoffman's getting better at attendance for non-scheduled stuff. His attendance is like 3 for 3 for the last 3 coaching sessions. Although I know some of you weren't a big fan of the last one because that spreadsheet got a little hairy, because that wasn't my fault. That was the stupid Google sheet. It turned it into a table instead of just a standard worksheet. I'm able to work a lot easier with worksheets. The table has a pretty format, but it's not really conducive to making changes and stuff like that. So I kind of lost track of some of what I did. So I know some of you weren't too happy with that, but thankfully it wasn't my fault. It was the spreadsheet's fault, because that's what I try to do. Just blame something else. It can't be my fault, right? But in that case, it actually wasn't. Believe me. My stories, remember this, okay? A lot of my stories, in fact, I would say all my stories are true and unbelievable at the same time. Let's see, Brandon E with the picture of Trump here. YBDC going weekly is going to be interesting. Hey, Brandon, you're going to have to change your name, right? Didn't they retire that? You'll only be able to use that for like another less than a month or so. So going weekly, I agree. That's going to be very interesting for sure. Absolutely. Okay, now for the next one, let's go over here again. Okay, so I think we're about halfway through. Okay, let's see. Let's see. Um, okay, so we covered Tesla crash, GUI, YBit. Oh, OARK. So OARK, what's our prediction for that one? That one, I'm gonna try to not use the assistance of the 8 ball for that one. That one, it was 46 cents last month. I'm just gonna say 45 cents. All right, I'm gonna do it instead of what I just said. I'm reversing. Reply hazy. See? Concentrate and ask again. I thought I was concentrated. Outlook not so good. Okay, so it disagrees with the prediction. So it might be lower in this case. Okay. See, this is unfortunate because I'm gonna have to shake this a bunch now. It's already tiring out. It's getting to be old. All right, forget it. I'm gonna go with 40 cents for OARK. I'm gonna go with 40 cents. Okay, for the next one, let's see here. Looking forward to it. January 7th. At least it wasn't January 6th, right? A day which will live in infamy. Oh, that was another day. Sorry, I get those confused. How is BIGY going to be different than Feet or 5e? They seem kind of the same thing. Good question. That's a very good question. And we're going to have to take another little detour here again, because I actually wondered the same thing, but I happen to know the answer on that one. It's a nuance. So actually, the concept of 5e and Feet fascinate me. Not feet as in the body part, but feet as in the ticker symbol. So no jokes there, Hoffman. Uh, okay. 5e is it has to do with Dorsey Wright, the funds that are ranked by Dorsey Wright. Um, and I want to talk to Jay about this. I want to get him back on to talk about this. So it's like the featured five. So there are going to be some differences. It's gonna track the performance of the Nasdaq Dorsey Wright Tactical Hybrid Option Income Strategy. Are you lost yet? Because I am. Before fees and expenses, investing in the fund. Yeah, we know that one. Okay, so Dorsey Wright Tactical Hybrid Option Income Strategy. So it's going to be those funds that are on that. So it's not going to be exactly. Oh, and it's considered a fund of funds ETF. So the difference between those two, because I looked into them, one of them is only invested in the YieldMax funds for those five, which I believe it's like Tesla, Nvidia, some of those. Um, the other one is invested half in the YieldMax funds, half in the underlying stocks. So these are fund of funds. These technically aren't part of the big or the target 12. So that's two of the differences there. Um, this one is going to be because I looked at the holdings. Here's the holdings right here. Um, Here we go. Let me share this. Here is the holdings real quick for 5e. It's the 5 YieldMax funds plus the underlying stocks. That's the only difference between 5e and the other one, and that's how they differ from the BIGY fund. Uh, let's see. The Tosis is what gets him. He's got jokes, I see. Okay, let's see if we can top that one. Now let's go back over here. We keep getting sidetracked, but good questions. I can't get upset when the class asks good questions. Let's go over here. Let's go down here. What was our next one? Their site says announcing new distribution schedules. Oh, here we go. Okay, so XOMO. Now, I don't think we're going to get one for feet or 5e yet because those aren't out yet. So we might get one for TSMY, SNOY, and then XOMO. Let's see if we can remember all that. So XOMO, I'm going to predict 45 cents. Just throwing it out there. YMAX, I'm going to predict this week is going to be probably 15 cents. YMAX, I'm going to predict 20 cents. I got to do my spreadsheet too. Those two are also getting, because they're weekly. They're not in this, but they will be weekly because we know they're weekly. All right, so SNOY and then TSMY are our last two. I need to wrap it up here, folks. Uh, okay, what did I say? SNOY. SNOY was huge last month, but this month I'm going to say, let's see, this month, see, we spiked in November, but we came down since then. Let's see. 4.59%. So we're gonna have a rough one for SNOY. I'm gonna actually predict like maybe 30 or 40 cents. We're actually gonna be disappointed in that one. Um, okay, and then the last but not least, TSMY. TSMY is now if we look at last month was insane. But if we go to this month's TSMY, TSMY, uh, let's see. So last month I think was based off of October. This month is going to be based off of, well, the trailing period, right? Let's see. This month it's going to be 5.48%. So it's not going to be as high as it was last month. I'm going to predict for this month it's going to be, um, oh, I was looking at the wrong one at 53 cents. I'm going to predict like 40 cents this month. So we'll see if we're right. Okay, so those are my big, bold predictions. That's going to do it for this evening's dividend estimate video. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Like, comment, and subscribe, and join Discord if you haven't already. Doesn't have to be in that order, but just make sure you do all those activities. By the way, need to throw out a shameless ploy here. For whatever reason, the YouTube gods decided to remove about 35 subscribers from my channel today. I'm not sure why. I'm not sure if the channel got botted or what. But this morning I was up to 5914, so I only had 86 to go to hit 6,000, which is the elusive number I've been trying to hit for a while. For whatever reason, and if I refresh now, let's see if the bleeding stopped. But I'm at 5879, which means that's, let's see, 89, 99, 109. So yeah, uh, hold on, 89, 99, 909, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So yeah, for some reason, the YouTube gods decided to take away 35 subscribers from me. So please tell all your friends, family, and loved ones, and enemies, and friends, and frenemies to subscribe to me because we need all the help we can get. We need to spread the word, spread the wealth, spread the wisdom. And with that, we will see you all tomorrow. Take care. Have a good evening. Bye.